Hello everybody, Jamie the Board Game Man. Today we're going to look at a game from Knizia. It's one of his board games from the year 2023. It is a 2 to 4 player game. Today we're going to be looking at Sunrise Lane. All right, buddy, here we are with Sunrise Lane. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you the components real quick, and I'll show you how to set up, and then how to play the game. The object of the game is you're trying to get the most points after one person has 2 houses or less left in their turn. Everyone has equal amount of turns. Once you decide who the first player marker is, everyone gets the same amount of turns after someone triggers the end of the game. You have 2 or less houses. Okay? Alrighty, so here are the components. You got the board right in the middle here. Good old sunset, or sunrise. I keep saying you want to say sunset. Sunrise Lane. You also have your homes here. If you have a 2 or 3 player game, you play with all 28 houses. If you have a 4 player game, you're going to play with 22 houses. You'll take 6 out. All right. I'm going to show you a quick little two player game here. You also have your cards. And you can see the cards have different colors on them, which correspond to the colors on the board with the pips. So some of these have blue, gold, red, green, and purple. Those are the different colors that are in the deck here. You can see, and the artwork is really pretty on these. I love the artwork. Really, really nice on these. Each player is going to start off with 3 cards in their hand. Okay. I'll do that. All right. And then you'll do the draw pile right here. Once you decide who the first player is, you're going to take the first player marker, and I'll be the first player over here. And that's pretty much all the setup is. You're going to put the game board out. You also have these little parks right here. And then you also have these score markers that look like this. And then if you go over 60, you're going to flip it over and see what it says 60 plus. You would use that. You flip it over and keep on going. All right. So after we do all that, here we go. You also have the reference tile right here. If you're wondering what this is, this shows you the end of game scoring, which of course I will do. You know what? I'll do that right now. So you can see here, you have the blue area right here. This is the blue neighborhood. Then we have a red neighborhood here. We have another blue neighborhood here. And then a red neighborhood right here. So there's 4 corners, have 2 reds across the way and 2 blues across the way. That's something you need to know for end scoring, okay? Which I'll go over in a minute. So what you're going to do on your turn is you have the 3 cards in your hand. Right now, you see I have 2 reds and 1 purple. I can play as many of these cards as I want. But this is how you lay down your houses. If you start off in the hub here, so right now I can either go here, 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 or here. Okay? Let's just say I have these, let's see. I have these 2 red cards. I'm going to go ahead and play these 2 reds. So I'm going to play the 2 reds. That means I'm going to have a 2-story house out there. For each card stands for 1 house. So I'm going to go ahead and do this 2 right here because it's red, corresponds to this. I'm going to put 2 homes, and you're going to stack them just like this and place it on the 2 because it matches the color here. And you get, for how many points you get, depends on how many houses times the number of pips. So in this case, I would get 4 points. There's a 2 here. I got a 2-story house. I would get 4 points. So blue moves up to 4 points. Now I have this purple card left. It looks like I could go right here because it's the next one has to be. So right now I can either go here, 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 or here. I'm going to go ahead and place my last card, why not, on this purple pip here. So I'm going to go ahead and discard this. I'm going to put 1 house on this 1, which would be 1 more point. Okay, I don't have any more cards, so my turn is done. At the end of every turn, you would grab 1 card and place it in front of you. Another thing you can do on your turn, first player 2, he's got 2 green and a gold. All right, and let's see what I can do here. Now, right now, I can go either here, 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 or here. You always have to be adjacent to either to a house or to the middle hub here. Once you start branching out, then it's always going to be continuing. I can't put a house way over here in the middle of nowhere. It always has to be attached to something. Right now, it can either be the hub in the middle or another house. Just to show you what you can do on your turn, if you say you have the cards and you need a couple more. You want to try to build up maybe a 3 or 4 story house. Instead of building homes, you can actually take 2 cards from the deck. So let's just say, for the heck of it, I'm going to draw 2 cards. So now I'm up to 5. 5 is the maximum limit you can have in your hand at any time. So my turn is done with that. When I went ahead and drew 2 cards, my turn is done. Right now, I only have 1 card in my hand. It's green. And I really can't play it because here's gold here. I don't have any yellow or gold, whatever you want to call it. I have no blue, I have no gold, and I have no purple. So I'm going to have to draw 2 cards. Or, oh yeah, that's what I have to do. So I have 3 of these cards here. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this player. He has 5 cards. Now let's see what I want to do here. I can do, see, I have 2 greens, I have 2 reds. So right now I don't have any greens. I don't have any reds I can use. Okay, let's see here. I have a gold. So what I can do is I can use this gold to build here if I wanted to, or I can build a gold here. So let's say, let's see here. Yeah, let's do that. I think that might actually work out. I'm going to play this gold card here. I only have 1. So I'm going to build 1 house. On this gold pip, it's 3 points because there's a 3. I'm going to place that here. I would get 3 points. Now, the next one I can go over here or here, because I just built this house here. I'm going to build 2 green homes on this green pip. So what I'll do is I'm going to take these 2. I'm going to build a 2-story house and place it on here. It's 2, so that's going to be 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So I get 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I have these 2 reds left. And just so happens this is red. So why not build it all? I'm going to grab these 2 and build a 2-story house again. I'll place it around here. I get 2 more points for that. Okay. His turn is done. Oh, you know what? I did the wrong colors. He's supposed to be here. I did the wrong thing. I don't remember where that was at. But you have the gist of the idea of how this works. I had 2 and 2 like this, something like that. Okay, I forgot I was the other player there. So he would move up. Let's see. He would go 6, 8, 10. So you get 10 points for that. Okay. Sorry about that. Messed that up there. I'm not used to playing both players here. And then, of course, at the end of the turn, I would grab 1 card and place it over here. Now I'm looking at these cards over here, blue player. I've got 1 of each color. Now let's say I want to go this way. I want to start going in this direction. Because everyone's starting to go this way, I want to go this way. Okay? Now right now, if I wanted to go this way, I do not have a gold card. But what I can do, and you can see here I have a green card and a purple card. So I can start moving my way that way, but I don't have a gold card. That's when these little parks come in handy. I can take 1 card of any color I choose, play that 1 card, kind of acts as like a wild card, and you're going to put that park there. You do not get any points for parks, but parks allow you to continue on and kind of get you over that little hump to get to those colors you need to. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use the blue card here, and I'm going to put a park right there. Bink. Okay. No points for it, but it allows me to continue on where I can use my green and purple. So I'm going to use green card here. I'm going to put 1 house here. I get 1 point for that. I'm going to use my 1 purple card here, and I get 3 points for that. 1, 2, 3. We are tied. Okay? And that's what the parks do for you. You just put 1 card of any color you choose, and you can place a park there. And of course, I would get 1 card back. All right. Play will continue. Okay, and so on. And let's go ahead and fast forward here, and let's just say we got something along these lines here. I'll start doing the stacking of some homes here just to kind of show you how this works for scoring. Let's just say I did this. Let's just say he wrapped around here. And he did there. Then we'll go over here. And he got himself a 3. So we're just going to fast forward a little bit. That way I can kind of show you how this works. Okay. I'll go over here, put some homes over here like so. It's funny because these flat homes are very easy to stack, but these ones you have like little roofs on them and you have to kind of turn them the way they have to in order to get those to stack right. So you have to kind of pay attention. Okay. And then we'll go something like this. I know definitely you'll have a few more homes out there, but this will give you kind of an idea of what we're looking at here. Okay. There's one more thing I want to do here. I'm going to do this. There is one thing I want to show you guys when it comes to stacking homes here. Okay. Okay, so let's just say it's just kind of towards the end of the game. I have 2 homes left, and I trigger the end of the game. If I did it, then obviously he would have one more full turn because I'm the first player. Everyone gets equal amount of turns. He plays this final thing. The game is over. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, obviously, first you'll already have your points for this you tallied on the board. You're going to always have that out there. Then you're going to look at this card right here. You can see in the blue areas, which are right here and right here, they are separate. So you're going to do each one of these quadrants separately. We're going to look for the tallest house. So we're going to look for the tallest house. Whoever has the tallest house gets 10 points. Second place gets 6. Third place gets 3. In this case, we only have 2 players, so it'll be 10 and 6. So that's what we're going to do now is we're going to look at A. We're going to look at the blue area. Let's look up here first. It's going to be right here. It does not count. That middle section there and this middle section here are not a part of that quadrant. So you got to be careful when you're looking at this stuff. You can see it ends right here. The red ends right here. So there are these this little cross area right in the middle there does not count towards anything. Unless it's the C part is what that counts that, but these ones are in the blue quadrant and the red quadrant. So the only time you don't count the middle one here is A and B. So let's go look at A. We're going to go ahead and go to this blue section first. Whoever has the tallest house, whoever has the tallest house would get the 10 points. Now you see here I have a 3 stack here and a 3 stack here, and he has 1 3 stack here. What would happen is I have 2 of them. I have 2 3 stories, so I would get the 10 points and Brown would get the 6 points. If you tie, okay, let's just say you tie in an area, okay, then what happens is you would split the points. So that's how that works, okay. Now say that there is no, you always start from 5 stories, then you go down to 4 stories, and you go to 3 stories and so on but you don't count 1 story. So if there wasn't if there was all just 1 stories in the blue area, then you would get no points for it. You have to have at least a 2-story house in order for it to work. All right. Single floor houses are not considered for this rankings. Just want to let you know that. Okay. So in this case here, if I had done this, then we would both, I got to find that out. Do we both get the 10 points or would you split? Because when we played this, that did not come up. In case of a tie, the tie players share the position, both scoring the indicated points. Okay, there you go. So if this was the way that was there, then I would get 10 points, the other player would get 10 points. Believe it or not, we didn't have that in our game night. But in this case, since I had 2, and this did come up in our board game night, I actually had 2 3 stories, and one other person had 1. And it depends on, if it's tied, then obviously you look and see how many of those stories you have. Okay, so I would get, the blue player would get the 10 points, and the brown would get the 6 points. Now you're going to go to this blue quadrant here, and we're going to look and see what we got over here. So this is the blue quadrant here. These are all blue houses, actually. I just noticed that. So brown didn't even get in that quadrant. So I would automatically get the 10 points for that blue area. And obviously this player wouldn't even get anything because they don't have anyone there. So I would straight up get the 10 points for that blue area. All right, now we're going to move on to B, which is the red areas. The red areas are how many you have in that area. The most houses, that's what that little plus sign means. If you have the most houses in that area, you get 10 and 6 and 3. So let's see how many houses we got in each of the red quadrants. Well, it looks like here, just like this side, No blue houses in this quadrant. Okay, so I guess I did a bad example. But anyway, I think you get the gist of what it is. So obviously brown has the most houses in there. So he would get the 10 points. If I had maybe a couple in this quadrant here, something like this or something, then I would get the 6 points. Okay, and brown would get, this one doesn't matter how many stories it is. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you're doing it. Okay, it doesn't matter how high they are in the red sections. Only the blue sections that matters how much you build up. The red sections are just how many houses you have in there. Okay, then you have this red section here. I made a boo-boo again. Didn't put any blue ones in there. Okay, so we'll see over in this red section, we're going to look, and blue has 4 houses, and these would be considered 3. Okay, so blue would get the 10 points, and the brown would get the 6 points. Now you look at the C section. That is going to be the longest string of houses you have. Looks like blue might have this one, because blue has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And brown has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their longest line is 6. This is longest 8. So the blue would get 10 points, and the brown would get the 6 points on that. And that is all the scoring you do in the game. So it's pretty much all the pips as you're going along. Then you'll do the blue sections, the red sections, and the longest string of homes. And whoever has the most points wins the game. Now, there is a tiebreaker. The one tiebreaker that's in this game is whoever has the most cards left over. So whoever has the most cards would break the tie. And if there's still a tie, then at that point you would share the victory. And that, my friends, is Sunrise Lane. All right, so let's go to the top. I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on Sunrise Lane. This is one of the games I recently played at Board Game Night, the last one we had. And I have to say, I did win this one. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But by only 1 point. Only 1 point. I ended up with 100 points. Mark had 99 and Marshall had 91. So it was actually a pretty tight game. We did a 3-player game, and I liked the way it played. It was really, really fun. It was great. Not because I won, but because it was just, it was just a funny game. Little parts of it remind you of Ticket to Ride, obviously, with the colored, the colored cards, and you put on that color. 2 houses left, triggers the end of the game. So you have that little similarity with the Ticket to Ride, kind of, sort of. I love the way you stack the homes. That's kind of cool. You little stack them. Of course, the ones that have little roofs on them, you kind of have to be careful. The ones that have the tilted roofs, you got to make sure you do it all the same way. Otherwise, it looks like it's all crooked. So you got to make sure some of them are flat and easy to stack. But I like the little scoring thing where okay, it's 3 pips, 4 pips. I think, I don't remember if it's 4 or 5 is the most that's on there. But you can get some decent points if you start stacking up some cards in your hand. Now, the maximum is 5 in your hand, like I said in the tutorial. There are times when if you have 5 cards in your hand, you can draw 2, and we have to discard down to 5. So that's pretty much how you would get a 5-story house, is if you were to do that. You're trying to get all 5 of the same color. Maybe you have 3, you just want to grab 2 more, and then discard 2 to get down to 5. You can do that as well. I don't know how many turns you want to do that. If you're really trying to get that 5-story home, that'll be interesting. But it will be pretty much a lock, I think, if you were to get a 5-story home in one of those 2 blue areas. That's for sure. Couple small little gripes of those little score markers. Those things are tiny. I mean, they're really tiny. And I was like, oh my God. And that's the first thing all 3 of us noticed. Didn't like the little time. I didn't like the score markers at all. None of us did. They were so small. In fact, the next day, I went downstairs and I was having breakfast, whatever, and I saw one of the score markers sitting on the table. I'm like, oh shoot, I left one behind. They're that small. So you got to be really careful with those. Another thing is the board's a little fragile. It's really thin, and a lot of people have mentioned, I saw in a lot of comments, that it can tear or it can come apart. I noticed when I bought this, this was an open copy at McKay's, and I noticed there was that blue, that tape you use when you're painting, you put that blue tape. There was blue tape on the back of the board. I'm like, what the heck is this for? And then I read the comments. So I went ahead and decided to keep them on there. Now, what's cool is on the board, you can't, on the table, you can't see it, which is cool. But you have to be really careful with the board. It's really thin, it's really small, and you can easily break it apart. So you got to be very careful with that. That's what I read. So besides those 2, small little gripes, I really liked it. The gameplay was cool. It does say 45 minutes. I'm trying to remember if it took us that long to play this. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't take long to learn it. It really didn't. Especially if you're familiar with Ticket to Ride, you kind of go, okay, you go up to, now, of course, Ticket to Ride, you can have an unlimited amount of cards in your hand. This one, you can only have 5. But the whole color, put the thing on the color, and then the 2 houses left, that kind of thing, that's all the same. So it's not a very hard game to teach, and it's really easy to play. Sometimes you just want that certain color, but that's when those parks come into play, and I do like the parks. I did have to use the parks. I think I might have used it once, and I think Marshall might have used it once. I don't remember if Mark did or not. But those parks can come in handy. You have to spend a card, but hey, if you want to try to get that next section, and it was funny because in my tutorial, it happened in our real game. There was one section where nobody was touching it. We're all like in this one corner, and it was really weird. All of a sudden, like, we all kind of noticed, like, why are we all in this one quadrant? We got to start spreading out. So that's what we started doing. And that one quadrant almost didn't have anybody. And I'm like, maybe I should hurry up and try to get over there. Maybe because, it's starting to get towards the end of the game. If I can just have a couple houses in there, I'm actually going to get 10 points in that area just for having a couple of houses in there in the red section. So, but yeah, it's a fun game. Definitely look into it. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's very easy to play, very easy to teach. And you'll be off to the races in literally minutes. So, all right, my friends, that is my review of Sunrise Lane. Let me know if you've played the game, or maybe you haven't played the game. Let me know. And maybe you're interested in it since you saw it on the channel. You never know. You maybe never even heard of it. It is a Knizia game. So it's going to be, somewhat good. And this one was good. This is one of his good ones. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, happy gaming.